All right, Craig, the Lions showed us that they have some problems. And I think, and you tell me your thoughts here, but so much is thought or just put on the defense. Defense sucks. The offense is so just goes so cold sometimes. It's brutal. I think one of the biggest problems for the Lions is the offense, and I'd like to spend a little bit of time there as we start this. What are your thoughts on the offense? Not getting a first down until like the fourth quarter. Thoughts on the offense and that performance?
Okay. You want some thoughts on the offense? See, here's the thing. I haven't even had the chance to like calmly move into this yet because it's so fast after the loss. My thoughts on the offense, I've never seen a Ben Johnson offense perform that poorly before. That was shockingly bad. And I mean, on every step. I mean, you have 5 wide and Jameson Williams isn't on the field, but instead you have Laporta, great. You have Brock Wright, okay. And you have James Mitchell. It's like, why are those 3 guys on the field without Jameson Williams on the field when it's 3rd and 15? You know what I mean? Or when it's 1st and 20. The offense was a clown car, whether it was turnovers, whether it was Goff not seemingly able to throw anything that resembled a spiral, or whether it was their refusal to, apparently we don't have the ability to throw the ball outside the numbers to a wide receiver. It just doesn't exist. It's just, we are going to run routes to the middle of the field, even when there's 48 Bears in the middle of the field. It doesn't matter. We're just going to keep throwing it there anyway. What's happening?
I love what you said there. I don't like anytime Goff throws it out wide. I'll be the first to admit I don't like that just because
the arm strength.
Yeah, the arm strength. It's wobbly. It's just a little, but you're so right. I mean, it's just forcing it down the middle, and it's like this is going to get picked right eventually, and it does. And
eventually,
yeah, you nailed it. There's some personnel things. There's minor. There's penalties that just shouldn't be there. There's the turnovers that weren't the worst. I mean, the fumble, the QB exchange was just terrible. But yeah, I just the offense, when you go 3 and out, our defense can hold, and I thought our defense did well. I honestly did for what they were put into time and time again, but they just aren't good enough to withstand. And it's just so funny because when you play Justin Fields, who we'll get to in a second, you just see complete contrast. So Goff looks even worse than he played because he has no athleticism. Right. Things are breaking down, and we know that. But I think it's hard to watch the offense because that's the strength of our team, and they got to make something going, get something going for us. Otherwise, it just gets really clunky, really fast for the whole team.
Really clunky, really fast. And here's my question. And this is where I'll throw it back to you on this one. So we know that against the Bears 3 weeks ago, throwing over the middle of the field didn't work, right? Like their defense was set up to stop it. Of course, they were going to do the same thing this week. Why wouldn't they? They had multiple interceptions the last time they played us, but we continued to do the same thing. Do you think that this is a Ben Johnson dude? Like you're being stubborn, you need to you need to call the game differently. You need to get Jameson Williams in, you need to, whatever it might be. Or is it simply Jared Goff isn't good enough to do anything else? And this is the problem that they ran into in LA, where now all of a sudden it's like, no, I want to do other stuff. I can't. So what do you put it on here? Do you put this game on Johnson, on Goff, or on both? I don't know.
It makes you wonder if Jared Goff is not good enough to do some of the things that we're not seeing. It's like, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? It's like, well, maybe he can't throw it. There's a couple of throws or a couple situations where it just felt time to go deep. And we didn't see that at all. And we know there was one, he underthrew Jameson Williams, had pressure in his face, but like, that's an example of where's the, just a little bit of a deep, just a throw, just a go route. And I know that's where I'm really starting to be a little concerned because Goff, man, he's a gamer. He makes tight throws, a little bit of accuracy, or really good accuracy when he needs it. But then there's some of the just like, but then it's like, hey, Ben Johnson, where's a screen? Like just your traditional running back screens. You don't see those almost as much anymore. I don't know what's going on with that, but you got the bubble screens and different things. But I think it's a combination of both. But where are you falling that? Do you think it's Goff or more Ben Johnson?
I go Goff, especially seeing the way the ball was coming out of his hand today. And I did a video. This is almost embarrassing because I did a video, I think it was yesterday, talking about how the problem isn't cold weather. It's not bad weather for Jared Goff. It's just he's not that great on the road. And in 2022, he was terrible on the road, and but it didn't matter to the weather. But this year he's been better on the road, so I thought it would be okay. And then he laid an egg. And so, I think I titled like "Don't Believe the Lies" about the Detroit Lions or something. But yeah, it's a struggle here. I think it's got to be Goff. Like there was nothing you could have done with him. But also the games or the balls where he's holding on to it, gets sacked, things like that. Like when they go from the backview, there's nobody open.
No.
And here's the thing. Are you telling me with as far up as the safeties were playing and the linebackers staying back, like that middle of the field was just completely full? Completely full.
Yes.
Are you telling me Ben Johnson's not smart enough to call a pass play where they go deep? Or where it's a 15-yard out? Like, I think he's smart enough to do that. Like, you have arguably the fastest wide receiver in the NFL behind Cheetah.
Yeah.
And I think Goff just can't get him the ball.
Oh, dude. And this is big because you nailed it. They had a single, it looked like, and we can't see all 22 from the TV, but it looked like almost all game they had a single high safety, corners out, so everybody else is in the middle. And you're so right. You're telling me Ben Johnson can't see that we can just try one back shoulder, anything. Like Jameson Williams is so fast, something's going to happen. Something positive is going to happen. Pass interference, illegal contact, holding. He's going to catch the ball, or he doesn't. None of that happens, and it's just like, oh, okay, back up a little bit. This guy can fly. No, you're so right. So it's really concerning. And right, you see Goff with the gloves on. It's like, oh no, it's like
not like when you see Tom Brady with the gloves on.
No.
It's different.
It's different. It's like me with my winter gloves playing outside with the kids. That's how it feels. It's like,
yes,
dude, it doesn't feel like he has the ball, man. It's tough.
But if he doesn't have the gloves, it's not there either. It's just
right.
It's really weird to watch, man. And I'm at the point where if we do an extension for him, he needs to show me more because I need him to get through this lull. Like, I think it would be bad business to sign him to an extension before next year starts.
Yep.
I'm at that point. Everybody talks about the extension. Everybody talks about those things. Like this was gross, man. And I understand there's injuries and stuff like that. And I know you said we'd talk more about the defense. Are we doing that right now in this segment, or are we waiting for a second?
Yeah, no, we can. I just want to say one last thing. And I just want to say this is perfect right here, what he says, how Ben Johnson might get a little too cute. And I think he was trying to run the ball. And there was that run on 4th down where we went for it, where we do like this slow developing counter. I mean, there's always a couple plays. It's like, man, Ben, you are smarter than that. So
yeah,
we can switch. Let's switch and go to the defense. Give me your thoughts on the defense.
Okay. Thoughts on the defense. Were pretty simple, to be honest with you. I thought the defense still struggled, but again, it was a bad called defense. Like what was working was when we were blitzing. Like that's what worked. And then we stopped doing it. And it still kind of worked, but it didn't. I mean, we held them to 28, right? Or 25 or whatever it ended up being, 28. And it wasn't because the defense played so well. It's because Justin Fields consistently threw the ball high or flat out missed wide receivers. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I have some Justin Fields bias because I don't think he's good. But I saw this dude have open receivers and continue to put the ball just off the mark. Like just off the mark, or even toward the end of the game when he had DJ Moore wide open, 15 yards down, nobody within 10 yards. And DJ Moore like is skying for it and he still can't get to the ball. I thought Fields missed people left and right. Was I missing? Am I wrong there?
No. And you bring up Exactly. So I'll stop on Fields. I'll get to Fields in a second.
Okay.
The defense, you nailed it. I just felt there was what when things work, it's like, oh, cool, we got to figure it
Yeah.
out, and then we go to something different,
Yeah.
and
I
oh
understand you
man,
can't blitz 78% of the time,
right,
but
exactly.
you can blitz 48% of the time.
And look, he's gonna get away from you. You're gonna give up runs. That's
Yeah.
no problem. But that one that where he ran it into the end zone, let's just crash in. Oh my gosh. And
3rd and 11. 3rd and
and
goal from the 11, and we just play everybody back and send 4. It's like, that doesn't work.
Mhm. and
It hasn't worked.
and if we're gonna do that, this is where I'm just force this guy to make a play. We're playing zone. We're all looking at you, man. Put it in there. Instead, right, we're rushing 4. Everybody is somehow on somebody, even though we have 7 guys back and there's 4 guys in the route. Backs are turned, scrambling, and he just runs in. It's like there's a misfire on the defense, and it's just so frustrating because
Yeah, and I don't know, is it a Aaron Glenn thing or is it a talent on the defensive line thing? Because when Kaminsky was playing well in the first half, the defense played well, but then in the second half, nobody was getting pressure, and
yes.
it's just kind of crazy to see. So I don't know. What do you think? Is it a AG thing or is it a talent thing? Is it a little bit of both thing? Like, I guess my question for you is, it's just hard because you're 9-4, so you don't want to panic. But at the same time, you're like, I don't think Goff's the answer at quarterback. I don't think Aaron Glenn's the answer at defensive coordinator, but you can't do anything about it this year.
Right. This is what we got exactly. And when it comes to that question, I do think it's a combination of both. It's Aaron Glenn a little bit, but I think defensive talent is, you look around and it's like, shoot, because you saw John Kaminsky. Hey man, where you been? You saw the Aquara brothers get in there a little bit. Hey guys, where literally have you been all year? So you've got guys, Jalen Reeves-Maben comes in and makes a tackle on Justin Fields, and it felt like the greatest play I've ever seen in my life. And it's just because Barnes is overrunning. Yeah. It's a lot of personnel stuff that's very frustrating because you got Branch, Star, you've got, you can name 2 or 3 guys that are really good. And then outside of that, it just starts to be pretty soft. I mean, is Anzalone your just star linebacker that you want on your team? I mean, no. So there's just the personnel. We've just gotten used to it because it's been bad.
Anzalone's the guy who's going to put up 75 player grade on PFF, and then the next week 38. Like, by the way, the touchdown that Fields scored, that was all Hutch.
Yeah.
He did a spin move way too far on the inside and lost contain. All he had to do was slow Fields down, and it's not a touchdown. But it was just a straight, here's an entire half of the football field. Like, even when the good players are making the mistakes. But again, I understand that's what a mobile quarterback does to you, but other teams have the ability to figure it out.
Yep.
Other teams don't over leverage themselves. And there's other areas in the defense that I just found to be so frustrating. So Jerry Jacobs, right, just gets absolutely burned, which, by the way, are you kidding me? Like, at the very, 4th and 13. It is obvious when every single offensive line points. It's very obvious. All they're trying to do is draw you off sides. And they're trying to get in field goal range for Cairo Santos. I'm yelling it at the TV. My wife's looking at me like, what are you yelling at the TV for? I'm like, don't jump. They're just trying to draw you off sides. And then we jump. And it's like, oh my goodness, Jerry Jacobs looks like he's running wind sprints, like just jogging in a warm-up, and DJ Moore goes by him. So then we put Vildor in. And how many times are we going to allow on one side of the field Vildor or Jerry Jacobs just go one-on-one with no help against DJ Moore? That's stupid football. Like, nobody does that. I wouldn't even do that with Cam Sutton.
No. And there's just so many things that were just off. And again, 17 game season, you're going to have a couple of these, but the unfortunate part is it's been just trickling
5 or 6
around
weeks
us
in a row.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate part. But let me flip it to this, Craig. And let me know your thoughts on this. So after, well, let me think here. Okay, yeah. So after, what are we at? We're at 9-4. So
Yep.
13 games played. The Lions are 9-4. I'm going to give you some good news. Okay. And you tell me what your thoughts are. We're 9-4. We're still comfortable. Let's just say that for now.
Okay.
On top of the division. And what I watched Justin Fields and the Bears, this is their first back-to-back victory in like 2 years.
Okay.
Justin Fields looks sweet. I'll give him that. He looks so sweet standing still. He's got the chain, the visor.
Oh yeah. He looks
It's like this. Oh my gosh.
looks
This guy
smooth.
looks, oh, he
Yeah.
looks so sweet. He looks good out there, in shotgun. But then you can't let that deceive you that this dude can run it. Yeah, I get he can run around and stuff. And he's like, man, he's so good when the play breaks down. Well, it always breaks down because he doesn't get rid of the ball. And every throw he makes,
he doesn't get rid of the ball.
every throw he makes is high. It's off target. So my
Mhm.
point is the Bears are not anything that scares you for the future. Like, oh my gosh, the Bears are really playing. Whatever. The Vikings, do they have their quarterback? The Packers are still figuring out. So the North is still manageable. We're
Yeah.
9-4, everything in front of us. I just feel like, yes, it's been a rocky couple of weeks, but in those rocky weeks, I think we're 4-2 over the last 6 weeks. You are what your record is. So you win the games that maybe you shouldn't have or whatever. But I'm just looking at this saying, you nailed it just a second ago. Jared Goff, is he the answer? He is this year. Aaron Glenn, he's here now, I guess, unless he gets fired or something. But we've got what we need to keep going this year to make a good enough run. And yes, do we need to clean things up? Absolutely. But we're 9-4. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thoughts are we're 9-4. We came out here after a difficult win last week to get to 9-3. Everybody was the sky is falling, right? And we're all like, relax, like calm down. And I think the reason I was saying that was you just figure at some point you keep getting wins while playing not that well. And you just figure at some point the team is going to start playing to their potential again, right? And it just keeps not happening. It just keeps not happening. And it's been 5-6 weeks now where we haven't played to our potential. And so we're 9-4. We've got 4 games left, 2 at home, 2 on the road. And this is our last cold weather game, thank goodness.
Ooh.
But when I tell you we got Denver, Minnesota, Dallas, Minnesota, what's your confidence level in winning those? And we have to win 2 of them.
Yeah.
We've got to go 11-6 to be comfortable to win this division. And because I don't think both the Vikings and the Packers are going to win out. Right, so exactly. I mean, we have to win 1 against Minnesota and 1 more. And so I'm just wondering what's going on.
Really am. Absolutely. And the thing I would say is if you look around the league, and we could pull that up here, but I was looking at teams, that you got the I could pull it up, but teams are losing all over the place today that should be winning and vice versa. And it's just that time of year where I think it's just I admit, like, it's just, it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good out there. And there's a million things you could point to, but I think we got to remember that in this 17 game season, there is just a lot of ups and downs, and different teams are losing that shouldn't, and injuries, attrition, the whole thing. So it's like, if you would have told me again that we'd be 9-4, because I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong here, the Lions can still flip a switch. And if we next week win 31-17, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like, I'd be like, cool, there's the team that you know what I'm saying? So it's
there's the team we've been missing. Jared Goff's got some warm weather, throwing in the dome. Yeah.
It's just, so you look at there's some Browns without their quarterback are winning.
Against the Jags. The Rams are in Baltimore in a tie game. Just craziness.
Putting up 31 points.
Seahawks are already, these are, now let's go to the other ones, the Bucks just beat the Falcons to get themselves tied atop the division.
Wow.
Bears over us. Bengals with a backup quarterback just slaughtered the Colts.
Who are 7-5 going into that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And which is just crazy. Saints Panthers was the ugliest game ever. The Texans, who have been unstoppable lately, just got throttled by the Jets. Like
the Jets.
What just happened? And so, yeah, I get what you're saying. And the Patriots beat the Steelers this week too. So things happen weird. So in a vacuum, that makes sense. I think there's just every team has a lull during the season.
Yes.
And I've said that before. The Chiefs are in the middle of a lull right now.
Yep.
Right. Like they are. The Eagles were in the beginning of the year. We talked about that. The Bills can't seem to get out of their funk, and we know they're a good team. The 49ers lost 3 games in a row. And, you know, they won 5 in a row before it, and they've won 4 in a row after it. But they lost 3 in a row in between. It just is starting to feel like the funk is taking a little too long to get out of.
Yes.
And that's when I start to wonder if it's a problem that's bigger. Like the defense, I understand we can talk talent, but the offense, none of us ever thought a Jared Goff offense would be a 30-plus point a game offense like it has been. And I think maybe we're starting to see the end of the Detroit Lions offense because Gibbs is electric. Jameson can be electric. St. Brown is consistent. Laporta is remarkable as a as a rookie at tight end. There should, like with those amount of playmakers, any quarterback should be able to have a moderate amount of success with that.
Yes.
They just should. And so maybe we're starting to, maybe we've reached we've seen the top and we're settling into more of what the norm is. I don't think it's going to be this bad consistently with Goff, but maybe we're starting to, does that make sense?
100%. We are a 9-4 team. I mean,
yeah.
And if you, again, yeah, like you said, if you just take away the things and just look at it, it's like, man, that seems about right. 9-4, and how the path we've gotten there is just a little bit different than I would have thought, because we started off and had some just amazing victories, dominating victories, and you nailed it. I don't think we're a 30-point per game team. I don't think we're the number 1 rush defense team like we were for like a couple weeks. Like obviously not. So yes, it's leveling off. We're 9-4, and I'm happy. I'm oddly happy with that coming out. You know, I mean, coming off a weird loss, but yeah, this is weird, and I don't like it.
You know what it is setting up to do? It's setting up to do what every Detroit Lion fan loves most, which is talk about the backup quarterback.
Oh yeah.
We're going to wait more till the offseason to do that. But here's my hope. My hope is that we're wrong. My hope is that Jared Goff is like, no, this isn't who I am. That the line starts playing a little bit better again, the offensive line, and the Jared Goff comes out and he throws every pass outside the numbers next week and is just red hot and throws 2 deep balls to Jameson Williams that are right on target.
Yep.
And, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I do understand to an extent why they don't put Jamo on the field. It's because when he's on the field, Goff won't throw to him. So
it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Like, nah. Forget that guy. But even the last throw of the game for Goff was poor.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, he just kept missing throws.
Poor.
I don't know how not to go back to it. It's just shocking, and the play calling seems so bad, and I think it's because they had no options.
It's weird. The play calling just doesn't feel it. The Bears were like, we are going to you nailed it. We are going to jam up the middle, do something different. We're like, nah. We're going to try these in routes to Laporta.
Still going to do it. Like how many times was a ball thrown just behind or tipped, or as soon as the receiver caught it, he gets hit. And it's like, if it is a catch, it has to be a remarkable grab.
Yes.
You know, in order to make the catch. And it's just, whereas before it was open, well, defenses are reacting. What's the counter? Like there's got to be a counter, right?
Yeah. Yep. And even I know it's unbelievable. Let me look at the last 4 games here. We said it. Broncos, that's now flexed to Saturday. Beautiful. Yep. Love it. Let's go, fans. Like, doesn't that feel, because it is, it's a million times different than this game right here. At home, night. Love everything about that. That is a must win.
And I like that it's a day earlier because it's like this game stunk. Get that bad taste out of your mouth. Get back on the field as soon as humanly possible.
Yep, and go win that game, because then the next two are going to be tough, and then you come home to maybe win the division right there if you haven't already picked it up. But that Broncos game, man, you win that and you take this division any way you possibly can. So it's like root like crazy for the Vikings to lose, the Packers to continue to lose, because I think they got to come down to earth a little bit. They've been on a nice little run, but yeah.
Well, and I think too, let me show you this too. I think here's the other thing. I don't care what it looks like getting into the playoffs at this point. I just want in. And here's the thing. While we have to stay ahead of the 6-6 Vikings and the 6-6 Packers, the Bucks are 6-7.
Yeah.
Right. So like the truth of the matter is, we really, as long as we need to win one more game to keep the third spot.
That's right.
Right. Like 2 will get the division. Like, I mean, 2 will get the division for sure, but likely one more win, especially if it's against the Vikings. One more win probably wins us. 2 more wins guarantees us, but one more probably can get us exactly what we want. And let's just keep that in mind. I don't care if we back in. I don't care if we roll in. I don't care if we shuffle in or if we sprint in. Get in the playoffs, get a home game, get some momentum. Like, let's just make something happen here. It's something that we haven't experienced, but I'm saying that. What are your thoughts on that? Because I'm already
100%.
doubting what I'm saying anyway.
No, 100%, because you look at the 4 division winners are the top 4 seeds. And so at worst, you win the division, you're going to be the 3rd seed, because that that South team is going to be barely squeaking in. So you nailed it. We need one more victory, and then we need one more, 2 more would be outstanding. But that's why that Broncos game, you win that, you're 10-4. And that's where I think I just look around the league week after week, there's people losing that just like, wow, that was shocker. That's weird. And so to be 9-4, I mean, and I get it, man. I get it. When have not been playing well, but 4-2 in those last 6 games. So it's like, you finding ways, that's what it is. It's survive in advance, and then just get weird at playoff times and see what can happen. I don't know.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, that's it for us. We had a great time. This was we needed this. This is good therapy to talk this out.
Therapy. Yeah, it was good. I need to talk about it. Look, here's the deal. Lions lost. I'm saying the same thing to myself here. We're done here. Get back out there. Love your wife, love your kids, and just be back. You know, be back.
Right. Dust yourself off. Dust
yourself off. You're fine.
And go start making a nice dinner. Get up.
Pizza.
Get up. Get off the couch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get up.
I'm gonna get up.
Do something.
Why not? I'm gonna take a walk for all I care.
That's right. Get a walk in. Oh my gosh. All right. We'll see everybody later.
See ya.
See ya.